Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Life with Patty, and it's time for my second movie review. So you'll probably notice that most of my movies are not current movies, they're older movies, and I have bought some newer movies, but not a lot. So let's just get started, okay? Because I have 18 for you today. Last time I had 20, I'm trying to knock it down just a little bit. So, first one out the door, Dirty Dancing. Who has not watched this movie? I mean, it's an oldie but goodie. I don't know when it was made. I think it was made in like the early 80s. And Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey were nice and young. And it was just a good movie. I enjoy it. I've watched it several times. It's one of those that if I don't know what to watch, I can always pop that in and know it's going to be a good movie, even though I've seen it before. Okay, who has watched Flashdance? Now, I know a lot of the younger kids have watched Dirty Dancing, like I want to say kids that are in their 20s have still watched Dirty Dancing, but probably not Flashdance. So Flashdance is with Jennifer Beals. I don't think she even acts anymore. I'm really not sure, but I watched this movie, and I think it was in 1983 when it came out, and one of my good friends Charlene and I went and saw this at the movie theaters in Sacramento, California. Oh my gosh, we just wanted to be Jennifer Beals. We just thought she was so cool, and we'd come home and try to exercise like her. And so now I watched it back like a year or so ago, and I'm like, that is a really poorly made, corny movie. But I still like it, if that makes any sense. Another one from the 80s, probably. Maybe it's actually the 90s. I wish I could just go right to it and see when it was made. Twister. A little more suspenseful, kind of like sometimes guys will like this movie where they won't like the other two I showed. So I like Twister. It's good. I've watched it I don't even know how many times, but it's got some action in it, and I liked it, and it's I forget who the actors are in there, but anyways, I like Twister. Okay, A Walk to Remember. I think this came out in the 90s with Mandy Moore and Shane West, and I loved this movie. I read the book and I watched this movie, and I liked it. I liked the book and I liked the movie. And sometimes when you read the book, you will not like the movie, but it's a good story. It's a good, it has a sad part to it. It has a couple sad parts to it, but it shows that the popular guy can become in love with the geeky girl. And it teaches you some life lessons in there, and I really liked it. And I watch it a lot. Okay, this was a cute movie. Definitely, maybe. I think this was late 90s. This little girl was raised by her father, and then she wants to know about her mother, and the father ends up telling her a little bit of the story every day of her mom, because she's never met her mom. It was just a really cute movie. It was a really heartfelt, good movie. I enjoyed it. Well, I put this in the list because every single one of my grandkids, being from the age of 2 all the way to 14 now, all love this movie. So if I have all of them here, I can stick this movie on. They will all watch it. Yet this is a movie that my kids grew up with in the 90s. But it's such a cute movie. Probably most of you have watched this movie, but we just have watched it several times, and it's one of those good movies because there's so many little dogs in it that even if they're 2 years old, they love it. On up. They all love this movie. I just loved Cheaper by the Dozen, the newer version of Cheaper by the Dozen with Steve Martin and what is her name? Bonnie something. I don't know what her name is, but anyways, I love this movie. It was good, and You know, I used to want a big family, but my God, that's a lot of work. But it's a cute movie, and I enjoyed it. Okay, I just watched this one the other day, Eat, Pray, Love, with Julia Roberts. And you guys, you know I love Julia Roberts. This movie came out in probably the late 90s, maybe even 2000, but I don't know. I've watched it a couple times, and it's a slow movie. I ended up this time not even watching it all the way through. Julia Roberts goes off to find herself and gets a divorce from her husband, and I don't know. A 1 to 5, I'd probably give it like a 2 or a 3 because it was just so slow. And for Julia Roberts, that doesn't happen with me often, but this one was kind of a thumbs down. Here is one from the late, maybe mid-90s, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. It's just kind of a funny movie where the mom leaves this old lady in charge of her kids, and one of her kids is like 17, and she goes off for a work-related thing, and the babysitter passes away, not natural causes. But anyways, the kids are gonna run the house. They don't want to call mom home, and it's just kind of one of those corny movies that's kind of funny but kind of dumb, but it's still funny. I like it. Excuse me. Parental Guidance. You guys, I loved this movie. It was so cute because it's Billy Crystal and Bette Midler are the parents, and Marissa Tomei and Tom Everett Scott are the parents. And the parents are raising their kids really modern, very computerized, and the parents have to come babysit them for a weekend because they can't find anybody else. And the parents are just like, what the heck? The kids don't know how to kick a can around the yard or just play ball or catch outside. And it ends up being a really good, heartfelt movie. And I don't think it's one that got a lot of review, or, you know, wasn't super popular, but it was a cute movie. And it's an older movie, but I really like this movie. Life as We Know It, probably about 15 or 20 years old, with Katherine Heigl. That's another, I've had her in movies in my last review, and Josh Duhamel, I don't know how to say it, but anyways, they are best friends. They're not a couple, but they're best friends with a couple that has this little girl. They are the godparents of this little girl, and then the parents die in a car wreck. And so they, as godparents, take over the role of raising this little girl. But they're not a couple, and they're not together, and it ends up being a really good story. It's a really cute movie, and I liked it a lot, so. Water for Elephants. So the thing is, I read this book first, and I loved the book. And then I watched the movie, and a lot of times the movie is just not as great as the book, and that was the case with this one. It was still a good movie, and if you don't read the book, you'll like it, but it's about these two that work in the circus and training the animals and riding the elephant, and how the elephants are really treated in the circus, but how they really care for the animals, and they end up getting married. And so then it shows them back in like the 40s, and then it shows them in 2000. So as an older man, and then back when he was in the circus. And so it's a good story. Parts of it are really hard to watch, because they're not really good to the animals in the circus sometimes, but it shows that there are some that really do love and care for the animals. So it's a good movie. So this was the last movie I ever took my father to, solely because he had to see this, and this is where I had Tom Hanks in my last review of movies when he was really young. This is where Tom Hanks, and this is based on the true story of landing a plane that birds have gone into the propeller and the plane is going down, and I believe he lands it on the Hudson River in New York, and how there's a lot of questioning if he was drinking or on prescription drugs, and he really is a hero, but at first they don't treat him like that, and then in the end they do. But it is a really good movie, and it's keep you kind of on the edge of your seat, and my dad really enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to anybody to watch. Okay, here's for Wendy, the frugal minimalist, when she said last time, I'm surprised you don't have You've Got Mail in there with Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. So there you go, 2 Tom Hanks movies, older, younger, and I've had him in my other ones because he's such a great actor. I mean, my gosh, I mean, Meg Ryan is too. I love Meg Ryan. She doesn't star in as much lately. Tom Hanks, he can just do anything. You've Got Mail, it's just the best story ever. And I love it. So. The Wedding Date, that was one of those that wasn't super popular, but yet I still really enjoyed it. And she is going to be in a wedding, and it's for a family member, and she doesn't have a husband, she doesn't have a fiance, she doesn't have a boyfriend, and she's embarrassed of the fact that she doesn't, so she hires this guy to be her pretend fiance, and then you know the rest is history. It's a good movie though. We're almost done. Okay. Everybody in the world, I'm sure, has watched Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell and Overboard. This is the older Overboard. Love it. Would watch it over and over and over again. All 4 of my boys love this movie and watched it over and over. I don't know that I've introduced it to my grandkids yet. My oldest granddaughter, I'm sure she's watched it because she's 14, and my son has probably watched it with her. They have a new Overboard, and I almost just don't want to watch it. It just came out, like, I think last year, and I don't want to watch it because I love this one so much. So anyways, if you haven't watched this one, you have got to watch it. It's so adorable. For the longest time, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days was my absolute favorite movie. Kate Hudson and, you know, Matthew McConaughey. Oh my gosh, is he not the yummiest thing in the world ever to look at? So, cutest movie ever, where they're both betting their friends and their employees that they can do something, and she's trying to prove that you can lose a guy in 10 days by being the most annoying girlfriend, and his thing is that he can get a girl to fall so madly in love with him in 2 weeks that she will marry him. So she's trying to dump him, he's trying to make it work. Most hilarious movie ever. Plus you get to look at Matthew McConaughey, so there is no lose-lose there. Okay, last one for today is Fever Pitch. I've watched this I don't even know how many times with Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon. It's just where he's obsessed with baseball, but he actually meets this gal, falls in love, she loves him, but she doesn't love the fact that he loves baseball so much. And so, you know, can they make it work? Can they not make it work? What's going to happen? And it is an adorable movie. And so it's an older movie, but super cute. I'd recommend it to anybody. Okay, so that was my second movie review. As you can see, there's no new movies in there. Sully's about the newest, and that's got to be at least 5 years old. But these are movies that I own at home, and so I just thought I would share them with you. So let me know some of your favorite movies in the comments, because if I haven't watched it, I want to check it out, because I love to watch movies. All right, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.